Welcome guys. So we'll look into a very good set of data interpretation. It's check your concepts of ratio and proportion, and most of the questions of data interpretation is all about that. Now before we start solving, we are starting our second batch for CAT 2020. The link of the complete course description is over there. We have added many new things over there. Just go and check it out, and if you are interested, you can enroll in our course. Now let's start solving this. In the following graph, the first stacked bar gives the gross income of each of the 5 friends A, B, C, D, E as a percentage of the total gross income of all the 5 friends put together. So this is the first graph of gross income, and it is given in terms of percentages. The other two stacked bars in the graph gives a similar breakup of the total taxes paid by 5 friends and the total expenses incurred by them. So again, these graphs of taxes and expenses as a percentage of the total value is given over here. Now for example, so this is just the explanation of how to interpret the data. Now further, the tax on any gross income up to rupees P is 10% of the gross income, and for any gross income in excess of rupees P, the tax charge will be 10% of rupees P plus 20% of the gross income in excess of P. So this is very easy to understand, and this is how the tax are taken. So let's suppose this is the income line, and up to rupees P, the tax charged is 10%, and after rupees P, on the income of after rupees P, the tax charge is 20% in extra of P or excess of P. Hope this is clear. Now we have two equations or the relations, that is net income equals to gross income minus taxes, saving is net income minus expenses. And further we have an important point that for none of the 5 friends, expenses incurred more than the net income. Okay, so the expenses will always be less than or equal to the net income. Okay, they will not exceed the net income. Expenses will never exceed the net income. Now I need space, so let me switch on to the next slide. So I just have the exact information which I need for solving this set. So let's see. Now the first question is, if A paid rupees 1000 as taxes, what is the value of P? So the first question itself, we need to find the value of P. P is what? The point or the breakup point of the various tax lapses. Okay, so tax is charged on gross income. So let's see the relation. So for the gross income, let's suppose the total gross income is 100x and the total taxes is 100y. Why I've taken 100? Because everything is in terms of integral values, so it's very easy to take in that terms. Now for A, B, C, D and E, what is the gross income of X? This is 8x. What is the gross income of B? That equals to 20x. What is the gross income of C? That is just the difference. This is 12x. Now can we find the taxes? Yes. Let's see that. Now the taxes for each of them. For A, what would be the tax? It would be 5y. What would be the tax for B? It would be 20y. Now what we know is that, as we have seen, that till P the tax charged is 10%, and after P, in the excess of P, the tax charge is just the double of the amount, that is 20%. Now if we observe the numbers over here that we have got, for A, which is 8x, and D, which is 16x, which is just the double of A, and the tax for A is 5y and the tax for D is 15y. Now this gives enough hint to find the value of P, and we can clearly see that the value of P would be 8x. Why? Because if 8x gives tax as 5y, which is 10%, this is nothing but 10% of 8x. So 16x, or let it be like this, 16x would be 8x and 8x. So the first 8x, that is 10%, would be 5y, and for the next 8x, that would be 20%, and 20% would be just the double of this, that is 10y. So the total value is 15y, and here what we are getting as 15y. Now you can cross check the value of P as 8x for any other values, either for B, either for C, you'll get the same. Now, even if you don't get this, we can calculate by making some equation. Now, what is that equation? We take the value of P as P itself, then P by 10. Let's suppose we are calculating the value of tax for A, then we'll have to write 8x minus P would be 1 by 5, and that equals to 5y, right? Similarly, we have to write that P by 10, if we do it for B, P by 10 plus 20x minus P into 1 by 5, that equals to 20y, right? Now, we can equate these two equations by multiplying it by 4. This would be 4 here. This would be 20y. This would be 20y. Now, let's equate this. Now, if we equate this, let's remove this and equate. Now, if you equate these two equations, you can find the value of P in terms of x and you'll get 8x itself. Fine. So, this process can also give you the value of P. Now, as we know the value of P, so according to the question, A paid a tax of 10%. So, and the value of A is 8x. So, 10% is 1000. So, the total income of A would have been 10,000. Hope this is clear. Now, let's see question number 2. It says that if B's expense, so we have to refer to this graph, as a percentage of its net income. So as of now, we are just dealing with gross income and tax, but net income is nothing but the difference, or if we subtract tax from the gross income, we'll get net income. So if B's expense as a percentage of net income is X%, what is the maximum possible value of X? So we need to maximize the value of X according to the given situation or condition. So what do we, let's write it down in terms of equation. What do we exactly need to find? We need to find B's expense first. So the total expense over here, can I take 100K? But taking 100K will, not ease my calculation because everything over here is in fraction. So let's make it as K. So for A expense, if we need to calculate the expense, okay, expense. So for A, the expense would be K by 6 because 16 whole 2 by 3 is nothing but 1 by 6. For B, it would be K by 5. For C, that would be K by 3. For D, this is nothing but 13 whole 1 by 3, that is 40 by 3%, and that is nothing but 2K by 15. And this is again K by 6. Now we need to find the gross income and net income for B. Now what would be the net income of B? Net income of B would be subtraction, if we subtract tax from the gross income. Now we know the relation between X and Y. What we have got as the 5Y, this 5Y was 10% of 8X. So this 5Y is nothing but 0.8X. So this gives a relation between X and Y. This X would be, it will go 50 by 8 and then it would be 25 by 4Y. Right? This is the relation between X and Y. Now, if I need to find the net income, what would be the net income for A? This would be 50Y and this would be 5Y. So this would be 45Y. Similarly, what would be the net income? 20X minus 20Y. 20X will make it to 125 and minus 20 will make it to 105Y. Similarly, what would be the value of C as net income? Okay. But anyway, let's not get into C. We just need to focus on B. So according to the question, we need to find K by 5 upon 105Y into 100. That gives X. But we have been already using X. So let's make it as capital X. So we need to maximize this. Now in order to maximize, let's simplify it a little further. 5, 20 and then 100, okay, and 4 by 21. This would be K by Y. This equals to X. Now, in order to maximize X, we need to maximize this term. Now, in order to maximize this term, we need to have a relation between K and Y. Now, relation between K and Y can only be found by using net income and expense. Why? Because we have a relation between net income and expense. Now what is that relation? That expense cannot exceed the net income. So it means that net income for all the friends, it is given for all the friends that net income has to be greater than or equal to the expenses. Similarly for B, the net income would be greater than or equal to the expenses. Now similarly for C, but why do we need to find the value for C and so on? Because we need to find the maximum value of K, the maximum value of K in relation to Y, right? So the value of K in relation to Y, or the maximum value of K in relation to Y, should satisfy for each of the friends. That is why we need to find the value of, or the relation between each of the friends, or the net income of each of the friends, right? Hope you are getting the point. So what is the net income for C? That is 12x minus 10y. What is 12x? 75y minus 10y. That will make it to 65y. That is greater than or equal to k by 3, right? Now, as we need to find the maximum value of this fraction, let's try to simplify this complete all the relations. Now, if just looking into this relation, what I can make is that K is less than or equal to 45 into 6, that is 275. Similarly, if I look into this equation, it would be K is less than or equal to 105 into 5 is nothing but 525y. Now these are the relations, and all the relation has to be satisfied simultaneously. Now, according to these conditions or these relations, what is the maximum value of K in terms of Y? The 195, K is less than or equal to 195. So maximum value of K would be 195y. Now please don't get confused that the maximum value will come from here. Now if I take the maximum value of K equals to 1350, all this will be not satisfied, right? So K ka maximum value ye hoga 195y. Now if I put K equals to 195y, so this is nothing but 4 by 21 into 195, right? 4 by 21. So this is now easy to calculate. Let's do this. This is 780 by 21. So this would be the answer. X ki maximum value is 37.14. Hope this is clear. Now let's see question number 3. The person who pays the highest percentage of his gross income as the taxes is. Now this is a very direct question and it could be solved without looking into anything. So who will pay the highest percentage of his gross income? The person who has having the highest salary and or the highest income. So that would be this person, that is E, right? Because as the value is increasing, the tax that he is paying is also increasing, right? Now let's see question number 4. Let me erase this because I'll need space. It says that among the 5 friends, expenses as a percentage of net income, which is the second highest. Okay, fine. Now let's suppose we need to find expense as a percentage of net income. For A, what would be expense as a percentage of net income? Total expense is K by 6 and total net income is nothing but 45y, right? So what is this? This is nothing but K 1 by 270 upon K by Y. Similarly, if you do for B, this would be nothing but K by 5 upon 105y. So that would be equal to, again we'll get K by Y into 1 by 525. So we need to find second highest. Now what we can observe over here is that this K by Y is a common factor for every of the friend. If we find this ratio for each of the friend, then K by Y would be a common factor. So what will depend? It will depend on the other factor which is being multiplied, and accordingly we have to find. So let's find it for C. For C it would be how much? It would be nothing but K by Y, a common factor, and it would be 1 by 195, right? Now who would be the highest? Who would be the highest? The highest would be where the denominator is the least, and we can see the denominator is least is for C. So this is the highest. So this would be the second highest value. So A is the correct answer. Hope you are getting this point. Hope you have understood this solution. It is just about relating the ratios and percentages. Thank you.